Time to fuel your business success. Welcome to Harmonious at Lunch. We're bringing you bite-sized advice and expert conversations to drive clarity and growth 5 days a week. Make sure you join our Facebook group at humanopt.com/lunch, where listeners like you and our guests hang out so we can find harmony in business together. If you're building a business, you're in the right place. Let's dive in.
Can small shifts make a big impact in your life, in your business? Yes, that's the argument for today's episode from our very special guest, who I'm excited to introduce you to. But we're going to talk about a practical framework that can help you thrive in your business and your life. And yes, it's founded on small shifts. Everyone's tired of the big shifts and the big changes. Let's do small incremental things and work our way to progress every single day, one day at a time. Dr. Christiane Schroeter, welcome to the show, and thank you for being here.
I'm so excited to be here, and thank you and hello to the audience. This is going to be a great episode, so welcome.
Yeah, I love this stuff. And yes, shout out to the audience. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being loyal listeners of this show. We love having you here. I love this topic because I think there's so many misconceptions about how to improve your life and make these changes. And you could read diet books and it says you have to go all in and just throw away everything in your cabinet. I know we're not specifically talking about diet today, but it seems like it's like all in or you're just a loser for the rest of your life. So I love that you say there's small shifts can have big results. I'm a firm believer in that. So why don't you kind of give me and the audience an introduction? When you say small shifts, big results, what are we really talking about here for ourselves and for our business?
Well, mostly, really, if we think about our most precious resource, it's time. So we all have 24 hours in a day, and there is always work, right? There's always work. You can fill your day to your calendar to the brims with meetings, with schedules, with deadlines. The one thing is, if you just enter, let's say, a 15-minute block to take care of yourself, and let's just call that 15-minute block wellness block. You could even give it a fun color, like a light blue or something. If you keep this up for 1 week and you kind of like start to look forward to it, maybe on day 3, you're like, oh, there's my 15-minute wellness block. You're going to notice big changes, because all of a sudden this wellness block becomes this intentional habit that you are adding in the middle of your day. And of course, it's something that breaks up your work day from just the monotony of your work into like this little spark of joy. So then I gave you a few fun words. I called it spark. I called it a little joy block. And I think that's really how you should look at that the 50 minutes, if you've done very intentional, could be tremendously helpful for your business.
I love this. And I'm a huge fan of that. I do want to ask a question, because you said in the middle of the day. Does timing matter? Is this in the middle of our day? Because there's people who talk about morning routines, night routines. So does that matter at all?
Great. The reason why I brought it into the middle of the day is because some of us are extremely productive in the morning. We sit down, we start working, and we just start cranking away. But there might be coming this moment when you're like, oh, productivity is a little bit waning and maybe I need a break. And then people start reaching for their snack drawer, or they start scrolling on in social media and they're like, well, I just need to take my mind off. That's not the wellness that I'm talking about. Opening the snack drawer or scrolling on social media isn't necessarily it. The reason why I'm putting it in the middle of the day is because it just kind of breaks up blocks of work a little bit, and it creates a little bit of a diversion from your thought process, because studies really show that just sitting down for a long time is not healthy, of course, but it's also not great for your mind in terms of productivity. So for me, my best ideas come when I step away from the desk. So I might have worked for a few hours, then I step away from the desk, and it's kind of like you're putting on a pot on the burner and it's kind of simmering. So I have the ideas in my head and they are simmering. And then when I'm going for a quick walk around the block, I'm like thinking about it maybe. And I come back and I look at my computer and I'm like, now I know what to do.
I like that. The reason I ask is because I'm pretty anti morning routine, if you will. I've met people who have these 2, 3 hour morning routines. I'm like, I have 3 kids, first of all. Like, don't start preaching to me that you have 3 hours free in the morning. You're obviously doing nothing with your life. So that's me making a bold statement about morning routines. I go for a quick walk in the morning. I take my dog out for a walk. That's me moving my body, getting my day started. 30 minutes. It's about all I can contribute. I love what you're saying though, because I do notice for myself, I do work well in the morning as well, just like you. And there comes a point, it's around noon, 1, 2 o'clock, where I'm just like dragging my feet, and I need that little break. So I gotta do a little midday pick me up. As far as the prescription of what we do in those 15 minutes, this is another point where I just get so fed up with the internet. I mean, if you go on Google and you're like, uh, how to spend a 15-minute wellness break, you'll get a million different results, and that's just on TikTok. So I think it needs to be crafted for you, but how do you figure out what those things are? Because I don't want to listen to other people. I don't want to listen to what the internet has to say. I want to be in tune with myself, my body, and my routine and find something that's truly going to fuel me. How do you help people? How do you advise people to find out what those activities are?
I kind of look at wellness as something that's very, very personal. It's nearly like trying on home slippers and finding the one that really works for you, or sneakers or anything. Because if you look around on the streets, we all wear completely different shoes, but you need to feel comfortable in it, and you need to put them on and think, all right, this is getting me from point A to point B, from point A being very stressed out to point B feeling like I got a quick reset and I can come back refreshed. Now, wellness to me comes in a lot of varieties and colors. It's like a complete rainbow. It I call it the body, mind, spirit connection. If you think about them as 3 circles, the intersection of the 3 circles is really where the magic happens. So body, you could move, great, right? You could walk. That's amazing. I love that you do this. Or you could think a little bit about your mind. Maybe you just sit down and you read a book. Amazing. Or even listen to a book while you walk, right? So you're combining your body and your mind. Or spirit. Maybe you open a gratitude journal and you start writing something. Oh, I'm grateful for my family, for having that time with my dog this morning on the walk. Maybe making a great lunch and figuring out some new ingredients that I got from the farmer's market yesterday. And all this is nourishing, but it's not prescriptive in the way that I'm telling you to get the most out of your day, spend 15 minutes this way. Because in reality, to get the most out of your day, or how you spend your 15 minutes, if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was getting at, because we can try all these things. It's not bad to try them, but if you look online and there's some influencer, I can't stand that word, but they're like, you need to meditate for 15 minutes in the middle of your day. Okay, you need to meditate. I don't need to. That would drive me crazy, as a matter of fact, to meditate in the middle of my day. So I'll just put that out there. That's how I know it's not for me, and that's why I'm saying try the things that will work and feel best for you. The other thing I want to get back to though is, when you were saying it's like putting a pot on simmer, right, and walking away, and that's when your best ideas come.
Mhm.
We've all heard of the shower thoughts, the shower ideas, and that is where our best ideas come from. How do we really set our minds up for success in those moments? Because really asking about is, you can have chaos going on in your workplace, right? You can have 4 different monitors, like I do. I will admit I have a monitor problem. So you can have a lot of things going on, and then when you step away, you're really not productive because your mind just needs to like check out. Versus intentionally, and I don't know if you have a process for this. That's what I'm trying to ask, is intentionally setting up maybe a journaling practice or a checklist to go through to get your mind in place to simmer effectively, so you're cooking the thing you want to cook. Does that make
Mhm.
sense? Like, how do you set
Really.
yourself up to really have your mind solve that problem or come up with that idea in a focused manner while you step away.
I love it. Yeah. I actually, there's a word that I frequently use with my clients, and I call it productive procrastination, to where sometimes we feel our minds are in this loop to where you're doing stuff and you're thinking about things, but in reality, you're not really thinking about the problem. You're just kind of looping around, you're procrastinating and really getting to the problem at hand. So, what helps me is 4 simple steps, right? First, I simplify the problem. It's like, what do I really need to solve? So that's my S right there, simplify the problem. Secondly, I tell others, because alone by verbalizing what I want to do, it already helps me put the problem out there. And sometimes you'll be surprised, even if you tell your children, so I'm trying to do this thing. And they say, well, I've seen that here, or mommy, why don't you do that? All of a sudden it's like, well, I guess I was overthinking this, right? It's amazing how children just kind of like sometimes like, all right, well, I guess that was much easier than what I thought. So
I'll
break
say
down
on
the
that
problem.
too, if you can't describe your problem so your kids understand it, you don't fully understand what the problem is yourself. And that, I mean, my kids are, I have 6, 4, and 3, right? So I really need to dumb it down, which is also my intellectual level. So it kind of fits perfectly. If you have older kids, though, same thing. I mean, if your children can't understand the problem, maybe keep working on that first step of understanding what that really is. So I apologize, Dr. Christiane, for
No, I
interrupting,
think
but
this
that
is
is such a
perfect.
good point.
Yeah, and actually it brings up a couple of things too, that children have the ability to think more playful, and they think of the problem as something that could be enjoyable. And you're thinking, when I say problem, it always sounds like stressful and negative. So sometimes when you verbalize it, they're like, oh, that sounds kind of fun. And you're like, yeah, in reality, I guess this is fun. All right, sure, let's do it. So yeah, S for simplify the problem, break it down into small steps. T, tell others about it. E, examine what works and what feels good, right? So if you have a problem and you're like, well, I mean, I need to do this, but I need to do that. And all of a sudden, I'm like, well, I'm actually kind of really good in doing this. So maybe I don't even worry about that because I already know how to do this. So let's not overcomplicate this right here. And then lastly, praise progress. That's so important, especially if you told your kids and your family and your friends about it. They might actually come in and ask you at the evening at dinner time. We call it dinner downloads. Dinner downloads. We talk about our day and what worked really well. And that's when we give ourselves like high fives, or we even talk about what didn't work well. And, that's great too. It's a download. And then you tell them, all right, so tried this today. No, it didn't really work. But then I tried this because I kind of knew how to do this. And actually, that did work. And that's really, I think, what works well in these stepping away 15 minutes. You just go through the S.T.E.P process, and all of a sudden you have a game plan. And that's sometimes just what we need.
I love this. Did you trademark that? Did you trademark the step process here?
Oh, I love that you say this. It's tied in with my Petite Practice, my small steps practice, Petite Practice. And it's actually part of my TEDx talk that I just gave a couple of weeks ago. So I broke this down on the TEDx stage, very emotionally, visibly, and bringing in a lot of my personal stories of how I use the step system in my life now. So that video with the TEDx talk will break down even more of that step system, but maybe I should trademark it. Thank you.
You heard it here first. If you so get on
Love
that,
it.
because this episode won't be released for a few weeks, so
Love
the
it.
audience may jump in. But why don't you talk about that for a minute? Because I know you can find that on your website. I'll put that on the screen. Where can the audience go learn about the TEDx talk, and then more about what you do and how you can help them?
Yeah, so a couple of weeks ago, I presented on the TEDx stage, talked about the small steps, the petite practice, the step process that incorporates mastering our goals, discovering our superpower. And right now, I am just waiting impatiently for that video to come out. So if you want to be the first one to be notified once the video will be released, go to my website, drchristiane.com, and you can sign up to be part of the hype team to get that video first. And of course, get a teaser to my book. It's called Runway to the Red Dot being the TEDx stage, where I'm giving all my best tips and tricks to become a confident speaker, writer, and creative entrepreneur.
That's so cool. So valuable, especially for everyone listening. If you are an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, and you haven't leaned into your speaking abilities, please do. That's just, that's my 2 cents. So the website is on the screen. It's in the show notes down below. There's a couple other goodies down there, socials, all that fun stuff. So go take a look. Dr. Christiane, thank you so much for being here. This was a fabulous episode.
Thank you. And audience, I can't wait to connect more and have a fabulous rest of your day.
I love it. Wherever you're watching and listening, thank you for being here again. Go check out the show notes. Go check out the links. Sign up to be the first to see the TEDx talk when it comes out. Sounds like an amazing presentation. We'll see you on tomorrow's episode or the next episode, wherever this comes out, of Harmonious at Lunch.
Another episode of Harmonious at Lunch in the books. I hope this episode made you think and you grabbed some actionable ideas to propel your business. Don't forget to like, comment your takeaways, and subscribe wherever you're listening so we can help more entrepreneurs just like you achieve harmony in your life and business.